everybody. Well, welcome to Speaking of Schmoedown, the ultimate sports talk radio show for the movie trivia Schmoedown. I am your host, Double D Dandalinski. Did I say that right? I'm your host. I mean, yeah, I am your host. It's 4th of July weekend, and you know, if you live in the United States, we celebrate our Independence Day on the 4th of July. And we have floats dedicated to Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum and defeating the aliens. But it's Jay's favorite holiday, so he decided to take the weekend off. And I said to Jay, Jay, I really want to talk about Schmoedown this on Saturday. Can I host it? And he was like, go for it, man. And guys, we have a lot to talk about today. But first thing off the top, I do have some clarification as to last week's Double D Sexy Numbers. I did make the announcement that the IG title match was going to be July 16th. That was incorrect. I said that was confirmed. That is incorrect because we have confirmed, because Christian announced that was going to be moved to August. And the reason why I said that was confirmed because I was looking on the wiki page on fandom of the Schmoedown of the list, and I saw that the IG title match was on July 16th. So I just went with it because, hey, I got a scoop. But I think the original thing was the original date for the IG match, but that got moved up because they are planning to move into the live studio matches. So that is a correction on my part. But the math lines up as far as I am concerned. And this is going to be a very laid back episode. We're not going to have any hot matches. We're going to talk about them, but we're not going to have the eliminations. We're not going to have Frenchie's Corner. We're not going to have any guests coming in to ask questions. It's just going to be very laid back. I'm just going to talk about the matches, running them down, and have my little segments because why not? So we're going to start off with King Khan versus Ben Goddard. To be honest, I had forgotten about King Khan. I mean, it's like the last time he played was on April 15th. That was over 2 months ago. And I had completely forgotten that he was even in the league. And I think that's partly because there's just so many people that are in the league now. And with Christian trying to limit the league for next season, I think that's the reason why. Is because King Khan was just out of my mind for the most part. And I had forgotten about him until the schedule got updated, I think, earlier this week. So it's like, oh yeah, King Khan's a part of this. I totally forgot about him. So, but yeah, I think that's a good thing. That's a part of the thing we're going to look forward to next season is that because there's going to be such a smaller pool, we're going to start seeing these names appear more frequently. I mean, Paige for Betty, who's been on our show for many weeks saying, I want a new match. I want a new match. She's getting her next match July 21st, I believe. Again, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I think it's July 21st. So, and she's been clamoring for one. So I think that's a good sign right off the bat. But yeah, let's just talk about what happened in that match. King Khan versus Ben Goddard. I mean, both of them went perfect. And we are starting to see more people being perfect with perfect round ones. But interestingly, and Dagan had pointed this out to me on Wednesday, I believe, that we are seeing more and more people missing the bonus question because Ben missed his bonus question and King Khan got his bonus question right after that. So, I mean, I have noticed that's going to be, I think, next week's segment for Sexy Numbers because we are seeing an increase in missing the bonus question. And Dagan was pointing out that we just expect that if you go to the bonus question, you automatically get it. But it's not the case for the most part. I mean, for the most part it is, but this season is proving that just because you're going to the bonus round doesn't mean you're automatically getting it. And I suspect it's because of PJ Campbell and his writing staff that are doing a tremendous job, and they are just making these questions a lot more difficult. It's not as easy as it once was. So I'm going to report my findings next week, maybe. We'll see. But yeah, Ben Goddard and Khan, they scored perfect round ones. Only Khan was the only one to get the bonus question. But yeah, Khan actually got Pixar movies and did really well. He went perfect again. And Ben, he got opponent's choice, and that's like a hit to the gut. And obviously, when you're going to get opponent's choice, it's a safe bet that movie release dates is going to be the top category because it's so difficult. You have to be exactly right. You can't be one year off. You have to be exactly right. So, and it proved to be Khan's strategy proved to be good because Ben was only able to get 2 out of the 4 questions correct, and he was only able to get 4 points out of that round. And Khan was able to steal 3 points away from Ben. So, yeah, leaving the second round, the score was 20-12. So when you know that there's at least a 6-point deficit, it's usually, we know that the strategy is that yes, the losing person has to answer all 3, otherwise it is a TKO. But fortunately, Ben fought hard, and he managed to not be TKO'd, and managed to get all 3 questions correct, scoring another 10 points. But obviously, Khan won the match, getting his second 2-point question and his 3-point question. So yeah, he's definitely a force to be reckoned with. I apologize that I had forgotten him because damn, he's just so fucking good. And you can say that about everyone on the FinStock Exchange for the most part. Yeah, that's basically all I have to say. But yeah, I'm definitely happy with Ben's performance, but he definitely needs to. I mean, yeah, listen, when you're stuck with opponent's choice, it's either a crapshoot. Either you're going to know it or you're not going to know it. And unfortunately, it's bad luck for Ben. So hopefully he can rebound in maybe the singles tournament. He actually does have a hopefully he has the teams coming up next week because the Outsiders are facing the Press Room next week. So hopefully the schedule will remain intact for that. We'll discuss that later on in my segment. But yeah, hopefully Ben will have a better redeeming chance next week with the Outsiders. And let's talk about let's go on to the next match. David Del Rio versus Frank. I know I'm going to butcher this. Moran. I pronounced it right. Moran. For some reason, I want to say Morgan. I want to say Morgan, but I know there's no G. I am basically the JT of the Speaking of Schmoedown crew because I will mess up this name. So I'm just going to say David and Frank, just to keep it simple. So if I say David and Frank, you know who I'm talking about. So yeah, this is the first episode of Kaiser's Corner. I think he's stealing Frenchie's idea because when I was watching that, I just thought, is he stealing Frenchie's idea because he was just talking about and talking smack? I loved it, but I feel like he was just stealing from Frenchie. But yeah, I don't know. I'm reading my notes here, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, okay. I for some reason I have better lighting. I'm like, lighting. Kaiser needs to have better lighting, especially with David Del Rio, because it looked. I mean, obviously, I have a ring light, so that way it's projecting down, so it has better lighting. If you remember when Marie Wilson was last on our show, I had internet problems and I was scrambling to fix my internet connection, so I used my phone, and I didn't use my ring light. I used my lamp light, my main light for my computer room, and it was all orange. And that's what I got the feeling with both David and Kaiser, that it just looked completely orange. And I'm like, get a better lighting because it just looks so awful. But I mean, listen, I was happy with it, but he needs better lighting for his next episode. That's just my personal opinion on that. But yeah, Christian, sign the check. You know, we're all here doing your promoting your stuff. Let's sign the check. So yeah, okay. So that question with the David Fincher one, and I wish I would have remembered. Oh, it was in round one. It was in round one, and now I remember. So David and Frank in round one had the question that David Fincher question about Brad Pitt and who was the first collaboration between Brad Pitt and uh, David Fincher. I originally said it's going to either be uh, Seven or Fight Club, and I think Fight Club came second. So I was pretty like, yeah, with process of elimination, I think Seven came first, and I happen to be right. So I'm pretty happy that I got that one right, and it was by process of elimination. And Frank guessed Fight Club, and David guessed uh, Seven. So I was happy with that. Uh, Yeah, oh, I did have it. I did have it in my notes. I just didn't read it. But yeah, they both did. Well, David did really well because David had a perfect round one, but he didn't get the bonus. Once again, we are seeing an increase in people missing their bonus question, and I got to think we have to give thanks to PJ Campbell and his team because it's not as easy as it once was. Uh, uh, Frank got 6 points going into the second round. And once again, Frank got opponent's choice, and David chose Anne Hathaway. Those were some really difficult questions. I mean, I got the get smart question, but most of the other ones, I'm scratching my head like a Neanderthal, like, me no come pretend. But David just proves to be dominant in this game because he scored a perfect round and he scored again 3 points in round two in steals. So the final score at the end of round two was 19-10, and again that was all she wrote because David didn't have to answer any of his 3-round questions because Frank missed his 3-pointer. So swag definitely goes down by 1 point. So it's really, really unfortunate that swag just keeps going down and down in the rankings. In fact, they actually moved down to last place. But just because they're down doesn't mean that they're out. As I said last week, there is a chance that they can get back. And that's not even factoring in this month's schedule. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens this month, as we'll get into later. But now, guys, after all of that, we come to the main topic of this discussion. Everyone has been talking about this, and there's good reason why. Drew McWeeny versus the Barbarian. Now, Drew's last performance against Lon Harris, you can tell that he was taking it very chill. He wasn't taking it seriously because ultimately he lost that match. It was because of his round two questions. But this was a different Drew McWeeny. This was the Godfather of old, and he came back strong. I mean, he was perfect in round one. Both him and Barbarian were perfect in round one. And honestly, I was pretty psyched. And of course, we got to talk about that challenge, but we will get to that in a little bit. I'm not going to mention the second part. I'm just going to try because I want to get to the challenge part. I'm not going to. We're just going to go straight to the. Fuck the notes. I'm just going straight to the challenge because that is what we're talking about. Now, I had contacted Jay last night because I wanted to hear what his thoughts are. We know Jay. If you've been on this channel for any amount of time, you know how Jay feels about the benefit of the doubt rule. And he says, I want one answer to the question, no excuse, no exceptions. So I was going, oh, okay, Jay was going to be the same way. Well, at first, he said, I would give the points to Drew McWeeny. And I'm like, what? What? I was shocked. I wish I could have shown you the text message, but basically I had informed them that, yeah, the rules on page 12. And let me bring it up here. I want to make sure you guys are well informed on So yeah, give me a second here. Yeah, first day as host. So give me a little bit of leeway. So yeah, this is this is on page 12. Now Sam's challenge was because the announcers didn't say final answer, and because Drew was about to change his answer to the correct one. So that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about anything else. So obviously most of this is just basically for other scenarios, but here's the most important things. Final answer is not a question that should be asked. It should be expected to be asked unless required. So basically, the rule book reads like a contract. So there's lingo in here that gives enough flexibility. But basically, this basically says you shouldn't expect that final answer should be expected. You should just be say your answer, and that's it. Now, we're not going to go into the other things in here because all the rest of this paragraph says if the announcers don't hear your answer at first, you're not allowed to change it. If you change it, then it's an official warning. That's basically all it is. It's just really worded that way. But here's the most important thing, and here's what Jay was talking about last night. If any competitor speaks an incorrect answer, self-corrects their incorrect answer to the correct one without pausing or taking as much as 1 full second, it is an accepted answer. If there is as much as a 1 second pause or silence, the self-correction will not be considered an official answer. Now, here's the loophole. Now, some contracts have loopholes. We've all heard it in movies and television. Here's the loophole. Exact ruling on this issue will be made by the on-site line judge. What does that mean? Basically, the judges have full discretion at what they want to do and how they want to rule, or at least the on-site line judge. But basically, it means that the judges get to decide the final ruling. Jay is 100% correct that what happened was, and you can look on this channel much later after you watch the show, of course, that Drew McWeeny said the incorrect answer, paused for a second, and then he said, oh shit, no, that's the wrong answer. It's True Grit. Now, Jay counted. That was 4 seconds. To me, that was enough. That's enough to say that Drew McWeeny should not get the points. So 95% of me agrees with Jay. But there is 5% that reason why I don't agree with Jay. And here's why. If you remember how with any kind of argument, you need to have two sides of the story. Think of our judicial system. You have two opponents. You have the defendants, you have the plaintiffs. And one has the burden of proof, one has the not burden of proof, but they both have to prove their case. They both need evidence to prove their case. And whichever now, of course, things go wrong, but generally speaking, the person who has the stronger case wins the case, basically. One who makes the stronger points wins the case. That's what I'm trying to say. But here's my counter argument. Now, 95% of me agrees with Jay that Drew McWeeny should not be given the points, but there is a 5% of me that says I want Drew McWeeny to get the points, and here's why. Ty Lieberman, on his first day of manager, didn't make a competitive counter argument. I mean, watch the match again. He was like, I don't know, Barian, what do you think? What do you think we should do? What do you think we should argue? I'm gonna let Barbarian answer me. And of course, Barbarian, doesn't know what he's so dialed into the match, he doesn't know what to say. So he's petting Elvis. It's a wrong answer, or whatever he says. And I think part of the reason why the challenge went Sam's direction is because Ty Lieberman didn't make enough of a competitive argument. Had I was watching the match without reading the rules, excuse me, and even I'm going, wait a minute, Drew paused for a second. I think that pause is enough to just say that no, he doesn't deserve the points because there was a pause. I would have said that immediately, but because Ty was, drinking wine and he wasn't paying attention. So I feel that part of the reason why it went Sam's way is because Ty didn't make a competitive argument. Now, again, they do probably look at the rule book. They probably saw it. But I think had Ty say something as a competitive argument, I think it would have gone Ty's way. I think the challenge would have been overruled, and Drew McWeeny wouldn't have gotten the points. And had Drew McWeeny not gotten the points, Barbarian would have won. But here's the catch. I think Ty and Barbarian wanted to give Drew McWeeny the points. And here's why. Here's why. All right. So, for those of you who know, I have constructed every single possible score in the Schmoedown across all divisions, across whether it's a 3-round match, 5-round match. I know every single possible score. When I was watching the Drew McWeeny and Barbarian fight, I saw a scenario that I have not seen ever. In the 8 years of the Schmoedown existing, I have never seen, but it is possible. So the reason why I created this is I wanted to find what was the most amount of points the Schmoedown can get, a competitor can get in the Schmoedown. Now, if we take a 3-round singles match, the highest amount of points is 27-27. That's the highest tie score when you don't factor in overtime. I don't factor in because it proves this point. But if you go down to and over to, you get 29-25. That is the highest amount of points between both competitors that can be earned by both competitors. So had Barbarian scored his 5-point question, it would, now as you can see, it's not filled in. That's because it's never been done before. Now, maybe there have been scores that have been higher than that. That is true. But and we're talking about 3-round matches. No one has been able to do that. Some people have come close, but this is the closest. And there's only one way to do it. And we saw it last night with Drew McWeeny versus Barbarian. You needed the winning competitor steal one question from their opponent, but it had to be worth 2 points. And everything else had to be perfect. Everything else. I think because they were deliberating, like, listen, give Drew McWeeny the points so that way we can take him to the 5 and we can score the most amount of points in the Schmoedown ever existed. I think that was the plan. I don't know if that's the case, but considering that, Drew McWeeny got the points, the rules say that Drew McWeeny should not have gotten the points, and had Barbarian scored all 3 of his final round questions, he would have earned the most. That's something Finstock would have said, Barbarian, he's going to wipe everyone's floor because he has the highest most points ever possible. Guaranteed. Oh, wait, he already has it. Enough said. Give him the belt right now. And that's what he's going to say or something like that. So that's why I think that for me, 5% of me wanted to give Drew McWeeny the points because it would have continued the match. Had Drew McWeeny not gotten the points, Barbarian would have won with his 2-pointer and his 3-pointer. That's it. So, let me ask you this. Do you guys agree with my assessment? Do you think that ruling was what is your opinion on the ruling? Do you think that it was fair? Do you think it was right? Or do you agree with me and Jay that Drew McWeeny shouldn't have gotten the points? And do you buy my theory that the reason why they may have given Drew the points is because they can score this almost unattainable score of 29-27. Leave your comments down below. All right, everybody. Give me a second here. So up next, we have my sexy numbers. I decided to give Roxy the day off because, hey, she's an American. She deserves to have her vacation time as well. So I'm going to do what I'm famous to do with the start of every month, and that, hold on one second, and that is my July forecast. Now, unfortunately, Christian said last night that the schedule is inaccurate. And he tweeted that out, like, I think literally last night. So screw it. We're going to do it. But keep in mind, this is the old schedule. This is the schedule that was posted earlier this week. And we're just going to go through it and see how it would have happened if they would have stuck with the schedule. Now, it's my personal belief that these matches will happen at some point. They just won't happen in July. That's my theory. I don't know, but that's my guess. Okay. So we're going to start off with the dungeon. Let me take a sip of water first. Okay. So beginning of June, keep in mind, I said this, I think a week before, I think the week after the first week of June. So this is basically the second week of June. Second week of June, I said that the dungeon would score somewhere between 45 points and 58 points. Now, they had already won a few matches prior to my forecast. Unfortunately, they were not unable to win any more matches after June 30th. So they are basically stalled at this point. But as of what was it, Thursday? Yeah, Thursday they won their match. So now they have 47 points. Now, according to the old schedule, they could score somewhere between 47 and 60 points. So not a lot of growth, but it's some growth. It's only 13 points remaining for the rest of this month. But again, we're not talking, again, according to the old schedule. The Finstock Exchange, they unfortunately, they did not have they won their last match in June. So they could have ended the month with somewhere between 31 points and 46 points. They end the month with 48 points. And that counts the King Khan match with Ben Goddard. So that's very impressive, and hopefully they can continue the trend. But as of right now, the old schedule says that they would only get somewhere between 38 points and 47 points. So hopefully they can get more points going into this month. So hopefully we'll have to wait and see. Corruption, they could end the month of June with either somewhere between 26 and 40 points. They end the month with 31 points. Same thing with the Quirky Mercs. Oh, wait. Wait. Same score as the Quirky Mercs. But as for July, this is the old schedule. They could be somewhere between 31 points and 51 points. Now, as you can see, that gap between Dungeon and the rest of the people, they're getting a lot smaller. So hopefully they can actually get some more points. The Quirky Mercs, for June, I said that they would be ending somewhere between 31 and 47 points. You know, I know Josh won a match, but I don't know. But anyway, we're going to go forward. So, yeah, they end the month with 31 points. And, again, with the old schedule, they could definitely catch up to the Dungeon because they could end the month with somewhere between 60 and 31 points. That's a lot of cheddar. That's pretty much double what they have right now. So, yeah. And I apologize for the animation's going quickly. It's my mouse. But yeah, as you can see, 60 points is where the dungeon will probably most likely end, again, with the old schedule. But the Quirky Mercs and the Corruption, they're catching up. The gap is becoming much smaller. And it's possible that the Quirky Mercs can actually tie or maybe even surpass the dungeon. They have the best shot. But we'll have to wait and see what the actual schedule is, because I don't know what the new schedule is. For the Den, I said that by June they can end somewhere between 19 and 31 points. They end the month with 27 points. This is big. They scored a lot of the points for June. I mean, it's really, really good. But obviously with the old schedule, they can end somewhere between 27 and 42. So yeah, that again, they're catching up. So hopefully they'll get more points, and maybe they'll actually get to maybe closer to maybe Quirky Mercs or the dungeon when the new schedule finally arrives. So hopefully that happens. The Usual Suspects. I gotta give my hats off to Sam Levine, because he could end the month somewhere between 9 and 23 points. He ended the month with 20 points. Again, that's June 30th. That doesn't factor in last night. That doesn't factor in what was it? Last night's match? Yeah, it doesn't factor last night's match. But the new points, it does. They currently have 22 points, and with the old schedule, they could score somewhere between 22 and 48 points. So even though this is not the current schedule, or not I said that the Quirky Mercs, the Usual Suspects, could catch up. And obviously, last week I said that they were going to catch up with the tournaments, but if the schedule, or somewhat of the schedule, is somewhat accurate, they can catch up as early as by the end of this month. So yeah, if they get some wins in tournaments, Dungeon, the Corruption, Finstock Exchange, the Den, they're all going to be put on notice if the Quirky Mercs have a good month this month. The Stars, I said that they would end June somewhere between 11 and 19 points. Again, not a lot of opportunities for them to win. They did not win. Roxy's right. I don't know why the Schmoedown gods are just denying some wins with them, because Jeff has proven his success. I know that this is the old graphic, but there's no new graphics yet. But Janine's strong. I think Jacoby is. I think all of so far, Brendan Hanna. I don't know why I was going to say Ben Bateman. I don't know why I said that. He was Ben Bateman's lackey for a while, but yeah, these 5 players. Obviously, Mark Andreyko is no longer on the Schmoedown, in the Schmoedown, but yeah, these 4 competitors are really, really strong. So the fact that they're not winning is, hopefully they can make up the difference in the tournament, because they need it. And obviously, with the old schedule, they didn't have that much. They can end somewhere between 11 and 26 points. Hopefully they get better points, more chances to win with the new schedule, because Christian did announce that he was working on getting more matches in studio. So that's why the new schedule is not considered accurate anymore, at least for most of them. We don't know which ones, but I think, I think down the line we are going to get more. Or we're going to get the matches initially, but they just may not be scheduled for July, if that makes sense. We may see half of them in July and the other half in August, or some combination, but I think we'll see them eventually. And finally, in last place, we get Swag. I said that they would end somewhere between 19 and 18 points. They end June with 12 points, but they start July with 11 points. They have already gotten a TKO on Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. So with the old schedule, they will score somewhere between 27 and 11 points. So that is my forecast, my attempt at my forecast, because Christian is working very hard to get new in-studio matches. So unfortunately, my numbers are going to be off because I don't know the schedule. So hopefully it's at least close. But if it's wrong 1 month out of the whole year, I'm wrong. What else is new? I'm wrong. I was wrong last week about the title match being July 16th. So what else is new, right? And of course, Roxy Stryer is not here to grace us with her amazing, amazing voice. Tell me I have the sexiest numbers, but oh well. And again, that'll probably wrap it up for us. But oh wait, I didn't. Oh, let me do this real quick because I want us to talk about it. So as you can see, SARS and Swag don't have a lot of chances to. Did I have this all? Oh, oops. I'm sorry, Jay, if you're watching. But yeah, I'm new to this. So you can see that based on this inaccurate schedule, the Stars and Swag do not have many opportunities to gain points. They need to start winning in order to at least stay competitive. But that doesn't mean that they're not out. They can still win with the tournaments. But yeah, with the old schedule, with the inaccurate schedule, the usual suspects can catch up. But then they are not looking to. I thought it would be a little bit better for them this month, but they could still turn it around. Finn Stock Exchange, once again, not many opportunities to win, but they need their points in order to stay competitive, at least for July. But hopefully that'll change. So that'll do it for my sexy numbers. Once again, Roxy's not here, but she'll be here next week. And I guess that will be it for everything I planned. Yeah. So let's at least talk about the old schedule a minute, because some things that we're going to look, at least what we were supposed to see. On Wednesday, we would have the Outsiders versus the Press Room. That's Paul Preston and Ben Goddard versus Josh Horowitz and Perry Nemiroff. Hopefully, we see a better showing between Paul Preston and Ben Goddard. Not only because Ben Goddard's on my fantasy league, and yes, I'm going to talk about it because, hey, I'm winning. But hopefully we see a much better performance with the Outsiders, because Paul Preston is so good. He's so good this season, and he just doesn't have that much of luck this season. So I would love to see it. And unfortunately, that just means that Josh and Perry have to lose by default, and I don't want to see that either. Not that Perry or Josh are on my fantasy league, but it's just that they're both good, and I like Perry, and I like all of them. I don't want any of them to lose. Is there any way just to tie it and call it a day, and they split the points? But Brother Loomis and Beth May was the next schedule. That would have been the Thursday match. Hopefully we see a better showing from Brother Loomis, because he was doing really well in his first match. I forget who he was. Oh, it was Frankie Alvarez. I now know why. But yeah, he was actually pretty good against Frankie in the round 1 and round 2. It's just that final round killed him. So hopefully he has a better showing. Beth May, again, the season is so packed with competitors. I just can't. I know the name. I just can't see the face. So if I can't see the face, I don't remember. But hopefully I can she has a better showing so I can remember her. And I think hold on, I have this viewed in a specific way. Hold on, give me 1 second. All right. So July 9th, which is my birthday, by the way, we're supposed to have 3 matches. The first YouTube match is between Jader Palamo and Eric Zipper. So hopefully that's going to be probably a good match if we get it on my birthday. That's going to be it. And we got Rushmore and for the pay-per-view, we got Rushmore versus Final Exam. And then the main event, we got Deception versus Lightning Time. Oh, 4 great teams. I don't know who to choose. I mean, if you want to go with my fantasy league, I would say Rushmore because JT is on my fantasy league. I don't have Paul or Lon. I don't have either Marisol or Adam Collins, and I have both Ethan and Liz. So if we're going with my fantasy league, I would choose Rushmore and Lightning Time to win. But honestly, this is a tough call. I gotta admit. Hopefully we get these matches because these are really good matches on my birthday, July 9th. Hopefully we'll get them. I am going to appear on next week's match. I'm going to have a special reveal. Yes, I'm wearing my Wildberry shirt, but I bought some faction merch other than the Smash Cancer one that you've seen already. I'm going to reveal that on July 10th. That will be my birthday episode. So if you want to see which faction merch I'm rooting for, come in and watch us next week on my birthday episode. And I guess that will do it for us today. Again, very laid back episode, not comparing. We lasted almost 45 minutes. So we're just gonna kind of wrap it up. And subscribe to this channel because we are at 84 subscribers. And honestly, let's get it to 100 because correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Schmoes of the North took a year to get to 100. Let's beat those guys. Come on, we can get to 100 by my birthday. That's what you can guys get me for my birthday is getting this channel to 100 subscribers. You do that, and I will be very, very happy. And also, like this video if you enjoyed me hosting. Maybe we'll do some more of this. We'll have to wait and see. But you can find me at on Twitter at Dan Dolinsky. Simple as that. Sorry, I blanked on my own Twitter because I've been talking for 45 minutes. That's a lot for me. And also, you can subscribe to this channel. I am here every Saturday, even when Jay and Frenchie are away, running the numbers for you guys, giving you good insights and the statistics and stuff. And also, follow Jay, follow Frenchie. I think Frenchie is at Northern Schmo, and Jay is J Wade 1134. If I said that correctly, that's the letter J. And also, watch some of the other shows on this channel as well, like Oh What a Marvel and Go Get That Rose. And also go to Schmoes of the North, where I guess they're going to do a Mount Schmoedown episode. I think that's what they're doing. But hey, if they're not doing it, go watch an old one. Support Frenchie, even though he's not here. They're probably in a boat having a picnic for all I know. But guys, that will do for us. Hope you see you next week. Hope you enjoyed it. And I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.
You want to hear something funny? The mic wasn't on that whole time.
No way.
Yeah, for real.
Oh, wow.
So smooth.